Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is super duper exciting because I'm going to be reviewing the Jaclyn Hill Favorites brush collection by Morphe. So let's just go ahead and get right into it. So I'm going to be talking about each and every single brush, and I'm going to be comparing them to some of my favorite brushes and just letting you guys know what I think about this set and what I think about each individual brush, just in case you guys did want to buy each individual brush separately, because I'm pretty sure she's going to be restocking this again. I'm not quite sure, but I wanted to give enough time for me to actually try each and every single brush multiple times. Because I didn't buy it whenever it first came out. I bought it the second time. The first time it was restocked is whenever I bought it. Okay, so starting off with this brush right here. This is her favorite foundation brush. This is the Morphe M439 brush right here. The brush that I used before I used this one is the Sigma Flat Kabuki F80 brush right here. The first time I used this, I did not like it as much because this is very hard compared to this one. This one is very, very soft and it just like feels really nice on the skin. This one is very, very hard compared to this one. But with that being said, I like the way this one makes my foundation look better than this one. So this one has literally taken the place of this one, and this one is a lot more expensive than this one. I don't think I could say this one more right now. I don't think I could say it anymore. But I do like this one better than I like the Sigma F80 brush. This one is softer, but I like this one. I just like the way my foundation looks whenever I use this one so much better. So I definitely agree that this is an amazing foundation brush. And if you guys are looking for a foundation brush, I would definitely say to check this one out. So yes, this is like an A++ in my book. I love this one. Okay, so next up, I'm going to go in with, well, I'm not going to go in with anything. I'm going to tell you guys about the Morphe E8. This is what she uses for, this is like another foundation brush and just kind of getting those crevices. This one is really, really good for concealer, and it is really good to get in like the little tiny spaces whenever you're blending out your foundation. And if you want like a little bit of extra coverage in like certain spots, it's really good for that. So I do really, really like this brush. Do I think that you like need to actually go out and buy it? Not necessarily, but I think that it's an awesome brush to have in this kit if you do decide to get the kit. Okay, the next one would be the powder brush, right? Yes. Okay, so the powder brush is the Morphe E41. I really am not the biggest fan. Oh, crap. I'm really not the biggest fan of this one. It's a good one, but I actually like the e.l.f. powder brush a lot more. I just feel like I'm really getting like my whole entire face with this one versus this one where I feel like it's just, I don't know, I don't feel like it's getting every single spot just because it is so big. I feel like it's only touching certain areas. So I do like the e.l.f. one a little bit better, but I do think it's good to have in the kit if you're getting the kit, but I don't think you necessarily need to like actually buy this brush by itself. I would go for the e.l.f. Powder brush. This one is faster, but again, I don't think it's getting my entire face. So I prefer this one a lot more. Okay, moving on to this one. This is the Morphe M438 brush. She said that she uses this to like wipe translucent powder away and to like set her under eyes. It is really, really good for that. It is very, very similar to the Morphe tapered highlighter brush, the F35. It's literally almost the exact same brush. This one is just a little bit fluffier. So this would be really good to apply highlight if you wanted to. But again, I don't think that this is something that you necessarily need to go out and buy. I think that you could literally just use this for to wipe away translucent powder or to even set your under eyes if you wanted to. So I don't think this is necessarily something that you need to buy, but it is good to have in the set, like all the brushes are, but I don't think you necessarily need to buy this. But it is very, very similar to the Sigma tapered highlighter brush. So it's, if you wanted to save a little bit of money and get this one instead, they're basically literally the exact same brush. They even feel, this one's just a little bit softer and a little bit more fluffier. But yeah, they're pretty much the exact same brush. Moving on to, sorry, my picture just fell. Moving on to the bronzer brush. This is the Morphe R2 brush, and let me tell you guys, I am in love with this brush. I love this brush. This is literally the perfect bronzer brush. No lie. Like, this is the perfect bronzer brush I've ever experienced in my life. It is very, very similar to the e.l.f. complexion brush. and that's what I used to use for my bronzer, and they're very, very similar, but I just like this one a little bit more. I don't know. There's just something about this brush. It just blends out perfectly, and it just feels so nice on your face. I love it. I definitely think if you're gonna buy any brushes from this set, that this is the brush that you need to buy. It is amazing to blend out your bronzer. I love it. I haven't used anything else to blend out my bronzer since I got this brush. It is amazing. Okay, and then she has like two kind of contour brushes. This is the Morphe R10, and then this is the Morphe 437, which can also be used as a blush brush. But this is what she kind of uses as like her contour, and I don't really like this brush. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I don't know. I feel like this is kind of hard to blend out product with. So what I do is I just kind of like put the product on my skin with this brush, and then I'll go in with the Real Techniques contour brush, and I'll just kind of blend it out with this one. I just find it kind of difficult to blend this one out, so I'm not the biggest fan of this brush. To be completely honest, I prefer the Real Techniques contour brush to like kind of contour with. I just feel like it blends out way nicer, and I just like it so much more. And then, like I said, you could use this one as a contour brush. I used it today for my contour, and I mean, it's not bad. I like it. I just would prefer, I feel like the Real Techniques contour brush is just so much better than these two, in my opinion. But you could use this as a blush brush as well. Okay, and then the actual blush brush is the Morphe M43, and I love this for blush. I didn't like it when I first got the set. When I first tried it out, I didn't really like it. I thought that it like kind of dispensed too much product on the face, but I really, really like it now. I used to use the e.l.f. blush brush, and I really liked that one, but this one is just, I just like this one so much better. It just feels so nice on the skin. It is like a harder brush, but I really like the way it makes my blush look on my skin. Okay, and then the highlighter brush. This is the Morphe M510 brush. Before this one, I used to use the actual Sigma highlighter brush, the tapered highlighter brush, but I do really like this one as well. I feel like this one gives just a slightly different look than the tapered highlighter brush. I feel like this just kind of like packs on the product a little bit more, where this one kind of dispenses it a little bit more. So I do like that, like on some days, and then some days I'll use this one. But I do think that it's a really, really good highlighter brush, especially if you don't want to spend a ton of money on like the tapered highlighter brush from Sigma. I think that this one is a really, really good one. Okay, so now we have a ton of eye brushes. Literally, this kit is basically pretty much all eye blending brushes. The first one, which this one isn't a blending brush, this is the M4, sorry, I'm messing up so much. This is the Morphe E47 brush. This is what she uses, like, to kind of put translucent powder right here or to contour her nose. I'm not the biggest fan of this brush just because I really don't have any use for it. I just don't really, I don't really pack on, like, translucent powder right there for my eyes. I don't know. I did try it, and I mean, it does exactly what she says it does, but I don't think that this is necessarily a brush that you need, to be completely honest. But I guess it's nice to have if you do like to just kind of put translucent powder right there. But I just don't really ever get the use out of it, so it just doesn't really work for me because I just don't ever really use it. Okay, and then I'll talk about this one right here. This is the Morphe M432 brush, and this is like what she uses to pack on color under the lid, on the lower lash line. I'm just not the biggest fan of this brush. I don't really like the way it packs on color, to be completely honest. The one that I use, which I don't think you can actually buy it, this is the Ulta eyeshadow brush, and I just really like the way this packs on color so much more than this one. But again, I don't think you can actually buy this. This came in like a little set, so I don't think you can actually buy it, but that's what I use to pack on color underneath of my lower lash line. So I'm not the biggest fan of this one, to be completely honest. And I will also use the Sigma Pencil E30 brush, because this one is a really good pencil brush. I do really, really like it. So yeah, I just don't really like this one. I'm not the biggest fan of it. I just never really reach for it. I just reach for these two whenever I'm packing stuff on the lower lash line. Okay, I'm going to like keep the actual blending brushes till the very end, so I'm going to talk about like the not really blending brushes. Okay, so this is the Morphe M43 brush. This is what I use to put color on underneath my brow bone, or on my brow bone. I don't really use it for the inner corner highlight. She has like an actual brush for that. So this is just what I use to apply color on the brow bone, and I really, really like it for that. I think it's an awesome brush for that. It works fantastically. Okay, and then the one to put the inner corner in, the one to use for the inner corner is the Morphe E18 brush, and this works awesome. It gets right in there. It is perfect. I absolutely love it. I think this is like one of the brushes that I would probably purchase by itself if I didn't have the kit. I really like that brush. And then these are the brushes that I don't really use a ton. Only whenever I kind of do like a cut crease. I used all three of them today just because I wanted to actually like get some use out of them and see kind of like what I could use them for. So I just use them to apply like product on my lid, like right along my lash line. I just like applied like a darker color along my lash line on the top lid, and it works really, really well for that. I use the M506 to just kind of blend it out, and I use the E36 to like pack it on there, and then I blended it out with these two brushes. And so it works really, really well for that. I don't think you necessarily need these brushes, but you can definitely find a use for them if you do have this palette. This set. Okay, and so now we're moving on to the blending brushes. There is a ton of them in here, and I have used every single one of them, and I will say that every one of them is really, really awesome. I do really, really like them. With that being said, my favorite, my all-time favorite, hold on, let me find it. Maybe. My all-time favorite blending brush is this Wet n Wild brush right here. I love this. It blends out shadow so nicely. This is still like my ride or die blending brush. Even with all of these, I love this one so, so much. Like, it's my favorite blending brush of all time. I really, really like it. But I do really like these. These are really, really good. If you can't find the Wet n Wild brush, which I don't know, not all stores have it anymore. It's kind of hard to find. I found mine at the Dollar Tree. That's where I got mine for $1. So it's so, so cheap. So if you can find it, that is an amazing brush, and I would definitely look for it. But if you can't, these brushes are really, really good too. My favorite is the Morphe M441. I really like this one for blending out shadow. It is fantastic. And then my other favorite is the Morphe M504. So this is like really, really fluffy and nice, and I just really, really like that one as well. One that is super similar to a Sigma brush that I have, this is the Morphe M43 brush, and it is almost identical to the Sigma Blending E25 brush. They are so similar in shape. This one's just like a little bit longer. They're just so similar in shape. They're pretty much the exact same brush. Like, they really are. So if you want to save money, I would definitely go for the Morphe brush, just because they're literally the exact same brush. Like, they're the exact same. It's nuts. I use this to like pack color on the outer part, and then just kind of blend it upward a little bit. So that's what I use it for, and I really, really like it. It's a really good brush for that. And like I said, it's literally the exact same as the Sigma one. So I would definitely go for that one to save a little bit more money. And then these are just like your standard blending brushes. I don't think you need all of them, but I do think that it's definitely useful if you have this set to have all these blending brushes, because you don't have to clean every time you use a blending brush, you don't have to clean it so that you can use it again. You have so many blending brushes that you can literally just go in with a new brush every single time, which I love, and that's what I do. That's what I've been doing, is just using a new brush every single time I go in with a new color. So yeah, I do think that the blending brushes are not necessarily necessary if you're just buying them by themselves, but to have in the set, which all of these brushes to have in the set is awesome. But I do think that it's definitely cool to have all these blending brushes so that you can use a different one every single time. Okay, the one brush that this does not have is like an eyeshadow brush, like a flat eyeshadow brush to pack color onto like the lid. Like, this doesn't have that. So I just used the Wet n Wild one. This is $1 at the Dollar Tree, or even like at Walmart. I think they still have them. I'm not quite sure. It doesn't have that, and it also doesn't have like an angled brush like this. So those are the two brushes that it doesn't have, even though there's so many brushes in this set. Those are the two brushes that it doesn't have, and I wish it did, because I mean, I can just buy some from Morphe, but I think that, I don't know, I like the seal of approval, like the Jaclyn Hill seal of approval, if you know what I'm saying. But yeah, so it doesn't have like an angled brush, and it doesn't have like a flat eyeshadow brush. So those are the only two brushes that it doesn't have that I wish it did have. So to be completely honest, I do think that this is an amazing set. I think it's so, so, so good. I only have like 2 brushes from a different brand that I prefer over the brushes that she set out. So I do think that this set is amazing, and I definitely think that it's worth the money. If you guys can get your hands on it, I think you definitely should. I mean, the brushes are just really, really good quality, and I mean, you get so many for your money. You're saving a lot of money. You're saving a lot of money to buy the actual set versus to buy each brush individually. Now, again, you don't need every single brush in this set. So, I mean, if you can't get the set and you're like wanting to buy the brushes individually, I wouldn't buy all of them because I don't think you need them all. But if you can get your hands on the set, I think it is so, so, so worth it, because you're getting so many brushes for a discounted price. And so I just think it's so worth it. I'm just a humongous fan of this set and just these brushes, and I'm really, really like happy like with the Morphe brushes brand. I know I got a lot of questions on if these brushes shedded on me. Shedded? Is shedded a word? If they shed on me? There we go. If they shed on me. And they do shed a little bit. It is nothing like what people are saying though. Like, people were freaking out saying that they shed so, so, so bad. Like, just the Morphe brushes in general. And I didn't experience that. Like, they do shed a little bit, but no more than like any of the other brushes that I own, to be honest. Like, and they really didn't shed when I first got them. It's just like I've been using them for like how many months? Like 2 months? 3 months? I've been using them for a long time, and so now they shed a little bit, but nothing like what people are making them out to be. They shed just as much as like my Sigma brushes and my e.l.f. brushes. So I don't think they shed like crazy like everyone's saying. They do shed a little bit, but any brush is going to. So yeah, I really, really like this set. And like when I first used it, the very first time I used it, I didn't really like it that much. I was like, I probably shouldn't have spent the money on this. This isn't really that great. But as I started to use them more and more, I fell in love with them. And I mean, I washed them, and so that did change the shape of them a little bit. And I feel like whenever when you first get brushes, when you use them, they aren't really that great of brushes. But after you've used them for a little bit and you wash them, that's whenever like you really get like a good brush. You know what I'm saying? That makes any sense? I don't know if it does. Hopefully it does. But yeah, I definitely give this palette, why do I keep saying that? This set an A+. It is fantastic. I love it. So yeah, I love it. And I definitely think that you guys should check it out if you're able to. And if you're not, I definitely think that you should pick up a couple of these brushes. Definitely the M439 brush, the foundation brush, and then the MR2 brush. These are like my all-time favorite brushes from this set. I am in love. This bronzer brush, you guys. Oh my goodness, it's so good. I love it. So I definitely think if you can only pick up 2 brushes from this set, I think these are the 2 brushes that you should pick up. They are so good. Okay, so that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope you guys kind of got a sense of this set and if you guys should pick it up or not. Thank you guys so, so much for watching. I will list down below if she is going to restock it, and if she is, I will like list the date or whatever if I can find it. So yeah, thank you guys so, so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye, guys.